Hello and welcome to Cần Thơ News of Cần Thơ Radio and Television Station. Here are today's headlines. A meeting to mark the 60th founding anniversary of Regiment 1, Minh, Military Zone 9. Preparation for the defensive area drill of Cần Thơ City, which will take place at the end of October. The Secretary of Cần Thơ City Party Committee visited and worked with 2 hospitals in the city. Top news today. On the morning of September 22nd, the Veteran Liaison Committee of Regiment 1, Minh, coordinated with the Political Department of Military Zone 9 to solemnly organize a meeting to celebrate the 60th founding anniversary of Regiment 1, Minh, Military Zone 9, September 23rd, 1963, September 23rd, 2023. This is the first major regiment of the Liberation Army Armed Forces in the Southwest, having been established on September 23, 1963. They successfully completed international missions to aid Cambodian friends while fighting the U.S. opposition and guarding the southwest border. Following the proud tradition, veterans who are currently residing across the nation are constantly engaged in activities after completing their military obligations and returning to normal life. They take part in social events and local movements, maintain and support the nature and tradition of Uncle Ho soldier and Vietnam veterans, and form a potent and effective liaison committee. Implementing the intention of the commander of Military Zone 9 to the defensive area drill, Cần Thơ City has thoroughly grasped and urgently deployed works and preparations for the drill, which is expected to take place at the end of October.
The suggested schedules have been followed up to this point in the preparatory process. Departments, branches, and other city groups have been deployed with duties for practicing the defense of the city. Real military sites and replica bases for training exercise are also being built. Leaders of the city declare that department, branch, and organization leaders must decide that attending the rehearsal is crucial political duty. Request that the members of the rehearsal organizing committee, the organizations have been the organizing committee, and the Karang district continue to carry out the duties and obligations that have been given to them, comply with regulations during drills, ensure safety during the preparation and organization of the defensive drill area.
The Economic and Budget Committee of the People Council of Cần Thơ City has just had a meeting to monitor the compliance with the law on collection, payment, management, and the use of fees under the authority of the City People Council in the period of 2017-2023. In general, units and localities structure and collect fees and taxes in line with regulations, according to the Department of Finance assessment. The declaration, collection, payment, and finalization of revenues from fees are seriously implemented by units. The tax sector are always regularly monitors, urges, and inspects localities. A total of 20 fees were issued in the areas such as transportation, culture, sport, tourism, resources, environment, so on and so forth. On the afternoon of September 21st, the Cần Thơ City Party Secretary, Mr. Nguyễn Văn Hiếu, visited and worked with the Board of Directors of the Cần Thơ City General Hospital and the City Children's Hospital to learn and solve difficulties regarding the medical examination and treatment activities of the 2 hospitals.
Both the City General Hospital and the City Children's Hospital have used advanced and specialized approaches to address the region's growing demand for healthcare. However, they are currently facing many obstacles in terms of the COVID-19 epidemic's long-lasting effects, as well as the mechanisms and policies for investment in facility construction and renovation. Mr. Nguyễn Văn Hiếu asked the leaders of the Department of Health to pay attention to solving the problems for hospitals in building work. Additionally, he hopes that the medical team will work to combat the COVID-19 epidemic's aftermath and effectively fulfill the duty of maintaining the public health. Units must preserve through the current challenges, hold on to the honorable traditions of the medical profession, and dedicate themselves to the purpose of improving people's health in order to be deserving of the title of Medical Center of the Mekong Delta.
On the morning of September 22nd, the official session of the 8th Congress of the Vietnamese Catholics on Building and Protecting the Homeland in Cần Thơ City for 2023-2028 tenure took place. Over the past 5 years, in addition to implementing the motto of religious practice, priests and monks have actively propagated and encouraged fellow Catholics to promote the tradition of national solidarity and actively work in economic development, comply well with the party's guidelines and policies and the state's law, actively participate in patriotic emulation movements, and take care of social security. The total amount of money contributed by parishes and verbs to charity work is over 132 billion Vietnamese dong. The Congress heard the report on the results of the preparatory consultation session to elect the city's Catholic Solidarity Committee, term 2023-2028. Father Phan Đình Sơn was elected to continue as chairman. The Consultation Council also sent a delegation to the National Congress of the Vietnam Catholic Solidarity Committee. On the morning of September 22nd, the Vietnam-Australia Friendship Association of Cần Thơ City held a congress for the 2023-2028 tenure. Attending were leaders of the Vietnam Violent Front Committee of Cần Thơ City.
The Vietnam-Australia Friendship Association completed successfully the task that it was given during the previous term, which have to advance friendly cooperation between the two nations and deepen people's bonds of friendship and attachment. The association will focus on many important tasks in the upcoming term, including strengthening efforts to introduce the nation, people, and distinctive culinary culture of Cần Thơ City and Australia, organizing exchange programs for culture and art, and launching campaigns to entice Australian investment and trade cooperation to the Western capital.
On the morning of September 21st, the 2023 Farmer Startup Conference with the theme Developing the Agricultural Tourism Model in Cần Thơ City was organized by the Cần Thơ City Farmer Association. The delegates talk about developing agriculture tourism models and the prospect for growing agricultural tourism in Vietnam. Numerous approaches, such as community tourism, farm production integrated with tourists, and farmers participating in preserving commerce on traditional floating markets, have been created, particularly in Cần Thơ City. Numerous other concerns were also brought up, including the need to alter perceptions of the significance and combined worth of agricultural and rural tourism, as well as the necessity of including early planning of agriculture and rural tourism in the overall planning of tourism. In order to promote and introduce agricultural and rural tourism more effectively at the national and local levels, it is necessary to strengthen ties between the two industries and to create high-quality, diverse, and appealing tours and routes. On September 21st, a conference to promote Mekong Delta tourism in the Northwest provinces took place. 8 Northwest provinces and 8 provinces and cities in the Mekong Delta and tourism businesses representing the provinces of the Northwest and Southwest regions signed a memorandum of understanding on cooperation.
The Mekong Delta consists of 13 provinces and cities with a variety of natural sceneries, year-round greenery, fruit trees, crescences, and ecosystems. Meanwhile, the Northwest region boasts impressive mountains and forests, long borders, cold air, and some popular tourist spots, including Sapa and Phasaman Peak, also known as the Roof of Indochina. Through the conference, tourist businesses can network with colleges in the Northwest, look for chance to collaborate and explore new market opportunities. At the same time, the Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism, local trade, investment, and tourism promotion centers had the opportunity to strengthen experiences in tourism management, promotion, and development.
Coming up next is the weather forecast. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.